Good afternoon, fellow Plexers. Today's video is going to try to help the Howman out who PM'd me. I described to him in a private message how to create a separate TV show library DVR and a separate movie library DVR to record content so that the recorded content doesn't get mixed in with his regular movie or TV show library. So let's just talk about Plex DVR. I have an HD home run tuner set up with both my test servers on both Synology NASs. I don't have one set up on my regular Plex server because I use Channels DVR instead of Plex DVR. Plex is the best thing going since hot toasted sliced bread with butter, except for the DVR feature. Unfortunately for Plex, but fortunately for me, I much prefer Channels DVR. And I just hope someday Plex gets better in that regard so I can just ditch that extra charge for Channels DVR and just use Plex. With all that said, let's take a look at a couple things. So first of all, to record properly, you need the tuner in your system the correct way into the Plex settings. If you don't see season and episode numbering, no matter how you've added a tuner, because some people add a tuner a special way, and it works for live viewing, but it doesn't work for recording. You've got to have it connected to Plex in a way that pulls season and episode information. So if I click into the talk, you'll see it's season 14, episode 128. If it's not set up this way, you can still record this content, but only to a movie library because it'll treat all your shows as if it was a movie. So naturally, this HD home run OTA tuner is added properly. If I want to record this show, when I click on it, you have the normal options, this episode or all episodes, and by default, it's going to what I believe would be the first TV show library you've added to your system. If I drop the down arrow here, I have a choice of sending it to each of the other TV show libraries I've created. So let's find something else. Let's find the Grit channel, and let me slide over, wrong thing, into the evening. Until we get to a time frame where they're playing movies. Okay, Four Faces West. I'll click into that, and that's obviously a movie, so when I click record, now I have the option of the different movie libraries. And I don't think I had a movie DVR, but maybe I've already created that. So let's go to my settings. I'm in that server, and I'll drop down to Manage Libraries. Oh, I do have a media or a movie DVR, but I don't think I have the physical structure for it anymore. So let me delete that. So now I'll bring in my structure. So this is a Docker container running on my older Synology NAS. And the Docker container connects to, well, let me back up if I can back up. All right, so that Docker container connects to this shared media folder. So then Plex can see anything in this folder. And as I mentioned with a lot of these videos, I choose to use a nested folder structure, and I create 5 different sort folders for each type of Plex library. So we'll start with a movie library. I need to create a new library folder to then add that structure to Plex for the DVRing. So I'll keep the same naming convention, movie-DVR. And as I always mention, because I'm running a Docker container, which is a Linux program, I follow the no cases and spaces rule. No uppercase letters and no spaces. So we'll create the same structure in the TV show library sort folder. So then we'll bring Plex back into the picture. And I'm going to create a new library to point to each of those new folders. We'll do the movie first. And we'll call it Movie DVR. Now it's a matter of finding that structure. This is my alias for the shared folder. And once I click into it, I can see everything in that folder. So I'll enter the sort folder for movie libraries, find this new folder I created, add. It's probably not necessary, but I always change to the number 2 for minimum automatic collection size. Now there's no content in that library folder, so nothing scans at this point. Now let's do the same thing for the DVR library for TV. I'll browse, find my alias to my actual physical media, enter the TV show library sort folder, and find that new empty library folder. I'll add it. Now I'm not really sure how this works, but all my regular libraries, because I name from the TVDB aired order entry, I always change the episode ordering to this. I'm not sure what happens with a DVR library in Plex for TV shows, because I don't use Plex for that purposes. But I imagine that Plex will probably pull the metadata ordering and maybe naming from TVDB instead of the movie database. So you'll have to experiment with this on your own, but I suggest if your regular TV show libraries are set up one way or the other, and this is the default, try setting up your separate DVR library that way too. Alright, so now I've added those 2 DVR libraries. And if I go back to Home and find Live TV, now I can find a series to record. So it's 2:17. Let's try to find something that ends at 2:30. And again, before I do anything, there's nothing in that folder. And nothing in the folder I created for a movie. So let's just do, what are we going to do? Well, Stargate ends at it looks like 2:15. It might be over already, so I won't use that. Oh no, I'm sorry. Stargate ends at 3. The Facts of Life ends at 2:30, so I'll pick that as an example. So this, I think, sets to the first library you created in Plex. And now I see the TV DVR, and I just want to record that episode. Click record, I'm done. So now let's go back and find a Western movie. So I've got Grit TV, and I can slide over. So here's another movie. I can click the record option, and now I can see that new library I created and hit record. I'm not going to record this because I'm not going to keep this video paused until then, but I'll pause the video until 2:30 or 2:31 to show you what happened and that we successfully recorded that show. And I've got partial recording set up, so we'll just have a partial recording. Be back soon. And we're back. The recording is finished and Plex is detecting credits. So let's see if the media is in the library where it should be. All right, so let's go into the TV show sort folder, the library sort folder, and we have the recording. Just as it should be. So this isn't really a long video, and it's actually pretty easy to point media at a separate movie or TV show library for your DVRing needs. So Howman or Howard, if you have any trouble, let me know. You and everybody else, happy Plexing.